Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's set of reads. These readings are always valid for whenever you tune into them, of course. But that being said, for this installment, for the tarot cards, I'm using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. And to where you can find it, it's by Tilly Walden. I knew there was something else I wanted to say there, Tilly Walden. And you can find it at Liminal 11. The website is liminal11.com, liminal 11, there it is if you want to see it. The oracle cards I've chosen are Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. And the website for this one, rockpoolpublishing.com.au, A as in apple, U as an umbrella. And of course, I use dice, 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0. And 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and a 4-sided dice to choose the element that matches up with the minor arcana. You can find those at mathartfun.com, and it's the dice shop. Okay, that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. And let's go on and watch your read. Hello, Pisces. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Pisces? So, some good energy already starting off. We got the Prince of Swords, which I tend to see as the Knight. This deck is a little different. I just am more of an intuitive reader. I don't think that's supposed to be the page, but I'm getting kind of a Knight energy with it. What do you want to happen with this situation? You could have some help with this situation, whatever it is, too. Be careful of extremes. Okay. Whatever the situation is, I feel like I've been struggling with believing it can work. I feel like there's like a dichotomy, a balance, a internal war. We got the 5 of Swords and the 9 of Swords, but that's kind of like how you're feeling, and that's the past. So it's kind of like, maybe there's certain things that you have wanted, but for some reason you just told yourself, it's too much for me to achieve, or maybe that's not for me, or I wish that was for me, and I don't think I could really have it. Or you try it every now and then, and it only gets so far, and it fails, and you're like, well, maybe it's just not for me, maybe I just can't do this. I'm getting whatever this is, it's not that it's not for you. You may need to reevaluate the plan. And I'm getting you do have the intellect to make this happen. You do have the intellect. Definitely do have the intellect to make this happen. But it's kind of like, how do we step back and be more realistic about what it is we're trying to achieve and give it maybe some more time or more care? The plan has to be revised. I keep getting the plan has to be revised. And if we're willing to do that, you do have the, it's coming through the promise of abundance. We got to reevaluate the plan, find it in a light that's more realistic, and we got to get more dedicated to the purpose. The purpose. We got to get dedicated to the purpose, and we got to find it in a better light to where it makes better sense. We got to reevaluate the plan. This can happen, though. You can have it. Something you're struggling with. You're definitely struggling with something is what I'm getting, because I almost feel like every now and then it starts to go well, and then it only lasts so far, and it goes, whatever the subject is. And it's hard to get excited about it at this point, because I feel like I've tried so many times, and it always goes, very, very technical term, obviously. I'd love to see that on a science, whatever you call those things, science report. It's not report. I can't think of what it's called, but it's just my. The energy is ramping up again, So whatever this subject is, you're getting the possibility to jump forward again. The energy is ramping up again. But the thing is, we don't want it to just come and go. We don't want it to just be fun for a minute and then disappear. We got to kind of regulate it and kind of think it out before we go too far. The Lover's card coming in, and then the Two of Swords. So we got to be careful. I feel like we have to acknowledge the Two of Swords. The Lovers and the Two of Swords backing up the Knight of Fire, and the Fool. I'm thinking this is the Knight. I could be wrong due to this deck, but that's how I'm going to read it because that's how it feels to me, just to be fair. I'm feeling the Knight here. And I'm getting, like, when you see the Knight of Fire come in, it's like a burst of energy. Things go really well for a moment, and it's like the next day it's like, hello, Knight of Fire, where'd you go? Knight of Fire? Knight of Fire? It's like, they're just gone. The Lover's card with the Two of Swords is telling me, if we acknowledge what the blocks are, or if we acknowledge what the problems are and kind of try to plan ahead for that, that's how we can get past this bump, or this rut, or this getting stuck in the mud energy. Especially if we acknowledge it while we have that Knight of Fire energy. Because it's kind of like, if I acknowledge it while things are moving forward, kind of like, okay, I know how I am, I know how this works. It's kind of like, for me, I used to get really excited about projects, and like for a week or two I'd go crazy and just go. And then I would get burnout, and I'd be like, oh, I don't even want to look at it because I put so much energy into it. I burned myself out, and then I wouldn't look at it for months. So just as myself as an example, I realized, all right, I know I'm excited, I know I want to do this, but I have got to like regulate this out. I can't go crazy day after day, like just because I'm excited about it. I gotta, like, maybe a half hour a day, or maybe like a half hour a day, and that's it. And if I regulate myself that way, and I keep moving forward, and I keep being excited, but I don't burn myself out, I can go a lot farther with this. I can keep it going. It doesn't have to burn out. So that's just an example, a simple example for me that I've learned over the years. Like, I have to be careful that I don't burn myself out, because once I burn myself out, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to look at it at all. Like, instead of loving it, I start dreading it. And if you're able to do that and figure out what's going on here for you and how this is affecting you, because you don't have to have the same trigger, but like it could be something, who knows what it is. Maybe it's like financial. Maybe it's like I start off with a lot of money, then I spend too much, and then I have to spend months recouping it. Instead of going crazy spending all this money, I need to find a way to kind of even it out, so I don't end up scrimping and saving just to pay the rent. It could be something like that. It's just an example. I'm just saying it could go differently. You have what it takes for this to happen. You got the Nine of Pentacles and the Fruition. It's kind of like knowing that if I want long-term success, it is definitely the 9. It says 9 on it. I know it's 9. There's 9 pentacles there. I'm just going to reiterate that because I keep looking at it thinking 7. The 7 of Pentacles, even though I don't think the 7 is out here, is it? Yes, it is. It's out there later. Okay, so it is out there later. Because I'm almost feeling like maybe this is mirroring the 7. Like, if we can take that 9 of Pentacle energy and have more of a 7 of Pentacle attitude, which I feel like some of you are going to be like, oh, okay, what is that? 9 of Pentacles is being very self-assured and being very confident and stable where you are, very independent. The 7 of Pentacles is realizing it's going to take some time for things to really come to fruition. It's like when you plant a vegetable plant, any vegetable plant you're thinking. When you first plant it, it just kind of sprouts up, but like whatever vegetable you want to get from it, it's going to take months before it gets to the point where it actually can produce the fruit you want, or the vegetable, whatever. So it's kind of like realizing I have to plan this out. I have to stretch this plan out for it to last. And if I can have that attitude where I got to make sure I don't run, I can't. I feel like I got to be careful I don't sprint. I can't sprint 10 miles. I'm going to kill myself. This is going to be bad. My legs are going to hurt. I'm going to be dehydrated. It's going to be bad. It's kind of like I got to learn how to jog, and I got to learn how to make sure I have water, and I got to get up, and I got to get used to it first. I can't just do a 10-mile run today. I got to give myself 4 or 5 months to get used to it, get up to 10 miles, get up to jogging, and then start bringing up my speed and see where I can improve it. But I have to give myself the time to actually do it so that I can enjoy it. If I take it the right way, I can enjoy that run, I can get what I want out of that run, and I can make sure my body is healthy, especially when people get older. for example, if they go into a 10-mile run, your body might have some swift and severe consequences for that. That's all I'm saying. You may have a few months or longer where your body's going to torture you for what you put it through. You know what I mean? It's just realizing, instead of like doing that and like causing a lot of disruption, finding a different plan. Are we good? Cool. All right. Because I see good things coming in, but they're like, it's all about how you handle it. There is support one way or another. Now, for some of you, I know that you're going to be like, well, I don't feel like I really have very many supportive people in my family or in my friend group or whatever, or in my life. Others of you are going to have a lot of support. So I'm just going to say this real quick. Whatever that support is, it could be online support. Maybe you have the chance to join an online community with whatever you're interested in and get support that way. Just, there is support around you. You might have to look for it a little bit depending on your life. Remember, this is a general read, but I get that it is around you, and you could get some support, some stable support, and some encouragement that could help you. Just make sure it's on terms that you find actually qualifies as support, that where you actually feel supported. You want to be careful that you don't find people around you who want to control. You want people around you who want to support. And if you have a hard time with people in your immediate family or friend group that really do that the way you need it, there's also online options. Just be mindful of it, be careful of it. And you'll have a distance where you can connect with it when you want to. There are options there, but I do get that there is support to help you move forward in the way you want. And this support should also help you reflect but not control. They should have the energy of kind of like, okay, this is what you're saying, this is what I'm hearing. They shouldn't be like, this is what you should do, Pisces. It should be more like, I don't know if that's going to work out well. Here's a couple options I would consider, but if you're going to do that, I support it. I support what you want to do. I'm sitting from here, I'm thinking you might have some bumps and bruises going that way, but if that's what you want, that's fine. Here's just some options I heard of, but whatever you want, I support you either way. It's kind of what you're looking for, just in case that matters. Because I feel like for some people that's definitely going to matter. Because I keep getting there's something with support around you, but be mindful of it. It's not always controlling if somebody's looking at what you're doing and they're like, I see some bumps and bruises you could have. I support you with what you're going to do, but I'm seeing some bumps and bruises if you do it that way. Just being mindful of like somebody who's like concerned versus somebody who's controlling. Might take a little bit to kind of balance out which it actually is. More than likely it's a bit of both, but take it with a grain of salt, because I do get that there's support around you. Because if you keep going forward with this and you actually do stabilize the plan, if you do stabilize the plan and you choose to do this with whatever it is you want, we come into the next level. There will be random things, but the challenge is to not feel like I am controlled by the randomness around me. That's the challenge. To not feel controlled by the Wheel of Fortune running in and out of your life with this situation. The challenge is to actually, hopefully, see it kind of like, you know what? Every day is a different day. I'm going to try to set up a pattern. And I'm just going to keep going. If it doesn't go every day the way I want it to, that's okay. Every day, I try to make it happen. I try to make it happen. I try to make it happen. I'm probably annoying with this. I'm a Pisces, but what I've learned from myself, another thing that works for me, is if I have a small block of time I dedicate to what I want to do every day, like a small block. Could be anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour. That's what I mean by a small block, depending on what it is, because like you don't want to do just 15 minutes if that's not going to get you anywhere. But if you go past half an hour, it might, for me personally, then I run into like, oh, it's going to start to feel like a burden. So whatever it is, I personally create patterns, and like morning is easier for me, so I try to create morning patterns where things I really want done, they need to be done in the morning, and I set up a time, and I try to keep it going at that time every day. Does every day work out that way? No. But do most of them? Yeah, because I'm very dedicated to it, and I always kind of build it in. So whatever this is, if you're able to build it into a certain time of day that you feel like that's realistic, not when you want it to be, but realistic that it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why I build it in my stuff into the morning. It's not like I don't think I really qualify as a morning person, because even though I get a lot done in the morning, I wouldn't say I was happy about it. That's when my brain works the best. But that's why I'm realistic, and I'm like, I know that most will get done if I do it then. Something to consider for that part. Because I'm getting, this can be a beautiful thing for you. And once you get the pattern down, it gets easier and easier. The Lover's card's pushing out of the deck. This can be a beautiful thing for you, whatever you want. This can be a beautiful thing. This can be your trigger to get to the end that you're looking for. There's a couple cards left here. There's suggesting the Seven of Pentacles. Take it one moment by moment. Plan it out. Be very mindful that if you start, I should say, overwhelming yourself, it's gonna have a balance. So if it's like, oh well, today I feel like I was only supposed to do a half hour, but today I'm gonna just do 2.5 hours because I'm just jazzed about it. Depends on you. How do you know yourself? Do you burn yourself out? So for me personally, I'd be like, all right, I really want to do that. I'm really excited, but I'm also in the back of my brain going, you know how this works. You start doing that, you get all excited, and then you start overdoing it, and then there's a balance. And then they're warning about that. Well, with the Justice card, there's a balance. Know your balance. So that's my balance. If I get too excited and I go too long, maybe that day or that week I'm excited about it, but there will be a balance where I start getting burnout. So I have to be aware of that, which is why they're saying be careful of extremes. Whatever the situation is, be careful of extremes because it will always balance out, which is this card. Be very well aware of it. When you get far enough, if this goes successfully, you have a good card, but sometimes people don't see it that way. So I'm going to just show it to you. This is a good card. Now, the reason the Void is a good card, because it says there's possibilities, there's more things that can come of this, but you got to get there. You got to get there and see what you've created at that point before you can see what other things you can possibly create afterwards. This is the moment before the next evolution starts. It's all darkest before the dawn. You know what I mean? This doesn't mean it's going to be a bad moment. This just says this situation that you're creating might have more things that can come from it, but you're not going to know that until you get to this point where you've actually gotten that level of success. Until you've gotten that level of success, you're not going to see these other doors that can open for you. Sometimes people see this as a negative card. I don't see it as a negative card. It can be based on what's around it, but you got the Lover's card, and you got these beautiful cards around it, so I'm not feeling negative when that shows up later. I'm getting, it's like, there's possibilities, but you're not going to know them until you get there. So, and then again, I'm also an intuitive reader, just to be fair, so I read based on the energy I'm getting off the cards, not necessarily the static reading of a card. Anything else? All right, I think we're set. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.